Welcome back to Mets Weekly from the Sports Museum of America. Right behind me we have Casey Stengel's player evaluation from 1964. Casey was actually one of the few numbers retired at Shea, and these two writers are here to explain why.
I'm John Springer. This is Matthew Silverman. We're the co-writers of the new book, Mets by the Numbers, and we're here at left field at Shea Stadium to tell you all about the retired numbers.
Bill Shea is the most recent one up there, although it's not really a number, but it's for Bill Shea, who helped the Mets become a franchise in the wake of the Dodgers and Giants leaving for California after the 1957 season. He started this third league, the Continental League, in order to try and get the National League to expand. Out of that, we got the Mets. They played the first 2 years at the Polo Grounds, moved here, named it after Bill Shea, and it'll be something they'll be able to carry over with the rest of these numbers to Citi Field next year.
While a lot of teams issue their executives and other non-players numbers when they want to honor them, the Mets did not honor Bill Shea with a number, even though you could make an argument for number 62 or number 64. But the Mets have reassuringly high standards when it comes to uniform number retirement. I get a lot of emails from fans who want to see number 36 retired for Jerry Koosman or number 17 retired for Keith Hernandez and so forth. And the Mets have been reticent to do so. I think they've got very high standards, and it obviously means it's a very a great honor for the ball player to have his number retired. Casey Stengel is number 37. That is the first number the Mets ever issued and the first number they retired. It is also the only number between 1 and, say, 55 that was issued once and only once in team history. The Mets retired number 37 in 1965, shortly after an injury forced him to step down as Mets manager.
Number 14, surprisingly, is perhaps the least known today, but one of the biggest names in Mets history. Gil Hodges was an old Brooklyn Dodger, went to the Los Angeles Dodgers, was brought over here with the original Mets, hit the first home run with the Mets, but that's not why he's up there. Before the '68 season, took over the Mets, and a year later, a team that had never even approached 500 before, won 100 games, won the first National League East Championship, the first pennant by an expansion team, and the first World Series by an expansion team. He died, unfortunately, during spring training in front of his coaches after a round of golf in 1972, and Yogi Berra replaced him as manager, but he's always been irreplaceable to Mets fans. They had a day for him in 1973 on Old Timers Day. They played his old team, the Dodgers. They beat him on a Willie Mays home run.
Number 41 needs no introduction. That's Tom Seaver. His number 41 is the only number that was worn only by a player that's been retired by the Mets. Tom came to the Mets in 1967, was a Rookie of the Year, and had a magnificent career here, obviously. They retired his number in 1988 when Tom came out, stood on the mound, and bowed to the crowd. It was a class act. Nobody but Seaver could do that.
Number 42, last on your scorecard here, is the only guy who had no affiliation with the Mets at all, but it was here that his number was retired throughout baseball. It was here 11 years ago, and a really cold night at Shea. They had Bill Clinton and Rachel Robinson. They stopped the game in the 5th inning, had a ceremony. Bud Selig shocked everybody by saying that the number was going to be retired in perpetuity throughout baseball, through the major leagues, through the minor leagues, and no one could wear it unless they were wearing it then. Butch Huskey was wearing it that night and wore it for another year. Mo Vaughn later came and wore it and was the last Met to wear it in 2003.
And that's all you need to know about the Mets' retired uniform numbers.